Hi there students, welcome back to another video lesson. So after nating ma-discuss yung pag-illustrate ng geometric sequence sa pamamagitan ng pagkuha ng common ratio and as well as yung pagkuha ng next term ng geometric sequence, pati na din yung pag-differentiate natin between geometric sequence and arithmetic sequence. So for this particular video lesson, we will be studying on how to determine the nth term of a geometric sequence. So kung yung arithmetic sequence, meron siyang nth term, meron din po yung geometric sequence. So let's start. So for our lesson objectives, we will be determining the first term, the nth term, and the common ratio of a geometric sequence. So let's have a review. Supply the missing terms of the following geometric sequence and give the common ratio. As you can see, nawawala yung ating first term tsaka last term. So, paano natin may identify yung first term and then yung last term? So, ang gagawin lang natin, kunin natin yung common ratio. So, paano natin kukunin yung common ratio wherein wala naman yung first term? So, edi kunin natin yung second term tsaka yung third term. So, if we divide 8 by negative 4, we will get negative 2. So, from negative 4, mag-divide tayo ng negative 2, makukuha natin yung first term which is 2. To check, 2 times negative 2, that is negative 4. Now, dahil ang common ratio natin dito is negative 2, magmumultiply lang tayo ng negative 2 dun sa negative 16. So, para makukuha yung last term, so that is positive 32. So, let's now discuss the geometric sequence formula. So, ito po siya. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Where a sub n is the nth term of the sequence. So, kagaya ng arithmetic sequence, ganun pa rin naman po yung ibig sabihin niya dito. A sub 1 is the first term of the sequence. Likewise, first term pa rin po siya sa geometric sequence. And then n, also term position pa rin. Ang naiba lang po is yung r. So, kung dun sa arithmetic sequence, common difference po, letter D or variable D, dito naman po, R, common ratio po. So, let's have the first variable. A sub n is unknown. So, the nth term of the sequence. So, the problem is, find the seventh term of the geometric sequence whose first term is 3 and the common ratio is 2. So, the first thing that we need to do here is to identify all the given. So, para mas mabilis nating masagot yung tanong, yung problem, mas maganda na i-identify natin yung given. So, parang dun sa steps in problem solving, ganun din. Yung una nating gagawin is, what is as? Ano ba ang hinahanap? Dito, ang hinahanap natin is yung seventh term. And then, next dun, what are given? So, a sub n is the unknown. And then, a sub 1, yung first term, that is 3. And then, yung n natin, yung term position, that is 7. Okay, so kasi hinahanap natin is 7th term, kaya yung n natin is 7. And then, for our common ratio, that is 2. And then, applying the formula, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So, a sub n, so substitute natin, a sub 7 is equal to, the first term is 3. Times, yung ratio natin, the common ratio is 2. And then, what is n? 7 minus 1. And then, a sub 7 is equal to 3 times 2. And then, 7 minus 1, 6. So, kapag ganito po, meron po tayong parenthesis dito. Una muna po natin i-express yung nasa parenthesis. So, tsaka natin i-multiply sa 3. Hindi po pwedeng i-multiply yung 3 times 2, 6 and then raised to 6. So, yung 2 raised to 6 muna, tapos times 3. So, a sub 7 is equal to 3 times, so 2 raised to the 6th power, that is 64. So, tsaka pa lang natin i-multiply sa 3. So, a sub 7 is equal to 192. So, to check, so pwede nating ilista yan. So, yung first term natin is 3. Mag-multiply ka ng 2, that is 6. Another 2, 2 12, and then 24, 48, 96, and then 192. So, kung bibilangin natin yan, makikita na yung 192, 7th term nga siya ng ating geometric sequence. So, pag ganyan, pwede natin ilista yung mga terms kung konti lang sila. Pero kung 100 term na, tama naman yung magiging sagot natin dun sa pag-apply ng formula. Basta tama yung pag-substitute at pag-multiply natin. Next problem. The first term and the common ratio of a geometric sequence are 10 and 1/3 respectively. Find the fifth term. As you can see, yung common ratio natin dito, fraction siya. So, wala namang problema kung fraction yung ating common ratio. Basta alam natin i-apply dun sa formula. So, again, let's identify the given. So, a sub n, yun po yung unknown. A sub 1, that is 10. And then, n is 5. And then, the common ratio is 1/3. Now, applying the formula, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 r raised to n minus 1. Okay, so a sub 5 is equal to, the first term is 10, the common ratio is 1/3, then n is 5 minus 1. Next, 10 times 1/3 raised to 5 minus 1, that is 4. So again, yung operation muna or yung term muna dito sa parenthesis ang kailangan nating unahin. Okay, bago natin i-multiply sa 10. So, a sub 5 is equal to 10 times 1 raised to 4, that is 1. And then 3 raised to 4, that is 81. So, paano naging 81? 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So, yung ating power, siya yung mag-i-indicate kung ilang beses natin i-multiply yung base, which is 1/3. And then, we multiply. A sub 5 is equal to 10 times 1, that is 10, over 81. So, the fifth term of the given geometric sequence is 10 over 81. To check, okay, so dahil 5 terms lang naman ito, pwede nating malista yung mga terms. So, yung first term natin, 10, mag-multiply tayo ng 1/3 ang makukuha, 10 over 3. Another 1/3, 10 over 9. And then, 10 over 27. And then finally, 10 over 81. As you can see, kitang-kita na yung 10 over 81, fifth term siya ng given sequence. So, let's have the next problem. Determine the sixth term of a geometric sequence whose first two terms are 2 and -4. As you can see, hindi po given yung common ratio. So, paano yun kung hindi given yung common ratio? Masosolve ba natin yung given sequence? Kung hindi talaga siya given, maaring given naman yung dalawang terms. So, kapag dalawang terms ang given, makukuha po natin yung common ratio. So, let's have the given. So, yung unknown natin, a sub n, and then our first term is 2. Ayan. And then, n naman natin is 6, since we're looking for the sixth term. And then, our common ratio, so sabi ko nga, given yung dalawang terms, so ang gagawin natin, yung second term na -4, i-divide natin siya sa 2. And that is -2. And then, we apply the formula, a sub n is equal to a sub 1, r raised to n minus 1. So, a sub 6 is equal to, the first term is 2, and then the common ratio is -2. And then, our n is 6. And then, a sub 6 is equal to 2 times -2 raised to 6 minus 1, that is 5. And then, yung -2, i-raise muna natin siya to the fifth power bago natin siya i-multiply sa 2. So, kapag ang -2, ni-raise to the fifth power, ang sagot ay -32. Okay. So, halimbawa, -2 times -2, diba, magiging +4. Nag-multiply ka ulit ng -2, magiging negative na naman siya ulit. Another negative, magiging positive. Okay. So, dahil dito, yung exponent natin, odd number siya, napapansin nyo, negative yung product, which is negative 32. And then finally, a sub 6 is equal to 2 times negative 32, that is negative 64. So, to check, our first term is 2. And then second term, negative 4. So, we multiply negative 2 to negative 4, it will become 8. And then another negative 2, negative 16. Another negative 2, positive 32. Finally, another negative 2, negative 64. As you can see, negative 64 is the sixth term of the given geometric sequence. So let's have the next problem. Solve for the eighth term of the geometric sequence with a sub 1 is equal to negative 128. And then r is equal to 1 half. So, a sub 1 dito is yung first term, r yung common ratio. So, let's identify the given. So, mabilis natin makukuha niyan kasi kitang-kita po sa given problem natin. So, a sub n, that is the unknown. And then, a sub 1, that is negative 128. And then, n is 8. 8 po kasi since we're looking for the 8th term. And then, our common ratio is 1 half. Then applying the formula, so a sub 8, and then the first term is negative 128. Next, the common ratio is 1 half, and then n is 8 minus 1. Negative 128 times 1 half raised to 8 minus 1, that is 7. And then, negative 128 times, if we raise 1 half to 7, so ang makukuha po nating sagot dito is 1 over 128. Now, we can cancel negative 128 and 128 kasi pareho lang din sila. So, yung GCF nila is 128. And then, a sub 8 is equal to negative 1. So, to check, so yung first term natin is negative 128. And then, mag-multiply tayo ng 1 half, magiging negative 64. So, in here, yung ating common ratio ay fraction. Ibig sabihin, lumiliit yung ating terms. So, pababa ng pababa. Okay. And then, after negative 64, magiging negative 32, negative 16, negative 8, negative 4, negative 2, saka negative 1. As you can see, negative 1, ito yung ating 8th term. So again, kapag common difference ang pinag-uusapan natin sa arithmetic sequence, kapag yung mga terms bumababa, nagiging negative. Pero dito, hindi ibig sabihin yung mga terms bumababa, negative na agad yung common ratio. For our last problem, what is the sixth term of the geometric sequence 2 over 25, 2 pip, 2, and so on? So let's identify the given. So a sub n, the unknown, and then yung a sub 1 natin, yung first term, that is 2 over 25. Now, what is n? That is 6. Sir, wala po yung common ratio. So, wala po siya sa given problem. So, don't worry kung hindi given yung common ratio. Given naman yung mga first 3 terms. From these terms, makukuha natin yung common ratio. So, let's try dun sa 2 over 25 tsaka 2 pip. So, ang gagawin natin, 2 over 5 or 2 pip divided by 2 over 25. So, since nagdi-divide tayo ng fraction, so kailangan maging multiplication yung operation. Kaya lang, kunin natin yung reciprocal ng divisor, which is 2 over 25. That will become 2 over 5 or 2 pip times the reciprocal of 2 over 25, that is 25 over 2. And then, magka-cancel tayo dito, cross multiplication, 2, tsaka 2. So, 1 na lang pareho yan. Then 25, tsaka 5, common factor na greatest common factor is 5. So 25 will become 5, and then 5 will become 1. And then yung mga natira, 1 times 5, that is 5. 1 times 1, that is 1. So 5 over 1 or 5. So you can see, yung common ratio natin is 5. So we can now apply the formula. So a sub n is equal to a sub 1 r raised to n minus 1. And then a sub 6 is equal to the first term, that is 2 over 25. Our common ratio is 5. And then n is 6 minus 1. So a sub 6 is equal to 2 over 25 times 5 raised to 5. So if we raise 5 to 5, the product will be 3,125. Now, pwede tayong mag-cancel dito. So, rewrite lang natin dito. So, yung common factor ng 25 tsaka 3,125, that is 25. So, 25 divided by 25, that is 1. So, kapag naman dinivide natin yung 3,125 sa 5, ang makukuha nating sagot ay 125. So, rewriting them, 2 times 125. And then, a sub 6 is equal to 2 times 125, that is 250. So, to check, so tuloy natin yung given sequence kanina sa problem. So, 2 over 25, 2 pip, 2. So, if we multiply 5, the common ratio, that is 10. Diba? 10. And then another 5, 50. Another 5, 250. Clearly, 250 is the sixth term of the given sequence. Next, what if a sub 1 is unknown? So, the first term is unknown. So, a geometric sequence has a common ratio of 3. If the fifth term is 324, solve for the first term. So, dito given yung common ratio, yung nth term natin, a sub n, yung fifth term, which is 324. So, ang gagawin lang natin dito, kukunin natin yung first term. So, possible ba yon? Yes po. So, given our a sub n, yung fifth term natin, siya ang magsisilbing last term or nth term. Okay? So, 324. And then, yung first term natin, yun naman ang unknown. And then, yung n natin, since given yung fifth term, n will be 5. And then, the common ratio is 3. Now, applying the formula, so what is a sub n? That is 324. What is a sub 1? So, yun po yung hahanapin natin. And then, ratio, the common ratio, that is 3. And then, n minus 1 magiging 5 minus 1. And then, 324 is equal to a sub 1 times 3 raised to 5 minus 1, that is 4. And then, 324 is equal to, if we raise 3 to 4, that is 81. Okay, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then, we divide the whole equation by 81. So, if we divide 324 by 81, the quotient will be 4. So, our first term is 4. So, to check kung tama ba yung claim natin na a sub 1 or first term is 4, so check natin. Kailangan makuha natin yung 324 na fifth term. So, kung mag-start tayo sa 4, mag-multiply ka ng common ratio na 3. So, 4 times 3, 12. Times 3, 36. Times 3, 108. And then times 3, 324. So, you can see, nakuha natin yung fifth term na 324. Therefore, the first term of the given sequence is 4. So, for our next problem, so the fifth and sixth terms of a geometric sequence are 1,250 and negative 6,250 respectively. Find a sub 1. As you can see, yung ating mga terms magkaiba ng sign. So, makikita dito na alternating yung mga signs ng terms. So, let's have the given. So, a sub n, that is negative 6,250. So, yung huling term. So, a sub 1, the unknown, and then n, that is 6. Yung common ratio niya, paano natin yun kukunin? Yung negative 6,250, i-divide lang natin sa 1,250. So, kapag dinivide natin yan, makakakuha tayo ng quotient na negative 5. Then, we can now apply the formula for the geometric sequence. So, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 r raised to n minus 1. Now, a sub n is negative 6,250 is equal to a sub 1, and then our common ratio is negative 5, then n is 6 minus 1. Negative 6,250 is equal to a sub 1 times negative 5 raised to 6 minus 1, that is 5. Negative 6,250 is equal to, so if we raise negative 5 to the 5th power, ang makukuha nating product is negative 3,125, and then a sub 1. So, multiply nyo lang naman ng 5 beses. Negative 5 times 5, negative 5 times negative 5, times negative 5, times negative 5, times negative 5, hanggang makuha mo yung negative 3,125. Now, we divide the whole equation by negative 3,125. So, kailangan po natin tanggal yung numerical coefficient ng a sub 1. And then at the same time, kailangan po yung a sub 1, lagi po siyang positive. Okay. So, kapag dinivide natin yan, a sub 1 will be, so negative 6,250 all over negative 3,125. So, ang sagot po natin dito is 2. So, the first term of this sequence is 2. So, to check, so, ayan, mahalaga po kasi na may checking para nakikita nyo na, ay tama pala na 6th term nung sequence na to ay 2. So, 2, mag-multiply ka ng negative 5, magiging negative 10. Another negative 5, magiging 50. Another negative 5, negative 250. Another negative 5, magiging 1,250. Ayan o, nasa given. And then, another negative 5, negative 6,250. So, our first term, which is 2, is correct. Next, what about if the common ratio is unknown? So, the first term and 7th term of the geometric sequence are 7 and 448 respectively. Find the common ratio. So, let's have the given. So, a sub n, so yun yung 7th term, which is 448. And then yung ating first term is yung 7. Now, what is n? That is 7. Our r is the unknown. And then applying the formula, okay, so a sub n is 448 is equal to a sub 1, that is 7. And then r is the unknown. And then n minus 1 magiging 7 minus 1. 448 is equal to 7r raised to 7 minus 1, that is 6. Now, we divide the whole equation by 7. So, r raised to 6 is equal to 448 divided by 7, that is 64. So, hinahanap lang po natin is yung common ratio, which is r lang. Meron pong exponent na 6 po yung r. So, ang gagawin natin, i-extract natin yung 6th root ng 64. So, anong number na kapag ni-raise natin sa 6, lilitaw yung product na 64. And that is 2. So, r is equal to 2. So, check nyo man. I-multiply nyo yung 2, 6 times. So, lilitaw po yung 64 na product. Now, to check, so if the first term is 7, and then the second term is times 2, 14, times 2, 28, 56. So, ang gagawin lang po natin dito is multiply lang natin dun sa common ratio, which is 2, hanggang makuha natin yung 448, which is the 7th term, para malaman natin na ang common ratio natin na 2 ay tama. Times 2, 112, times 2, 224, and another 2, 448. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 448 is the 7th term of our geometric sequence. So, ayan, kitang-kita po dito sa ating problem. Therefore, the common ratio 2 is correct. So, for our next problem, determine the first term and the common ratio of the geometric sequence if the second term is negative 405 and the sixth term is negative 5. So, dalawa yung hahanapin natin dito, yung first term and the common ratio. So, paano yun? So, identify muna natin yung ating mga given. So, a sub n natin dito is yung sixth term. So, that is negative 5. So, negative 5 din ang ilalagay sa a sub 6. And then, a sub 2, that is negative 405. And then, what is n? That is 6. And then, the common ratio is yung unknown. So, hahanapin muna natin yung r. So, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 r raised to n minus 1. Okay. So, a sub n natin dito is negative 5. And then, what is a sub 1? So, mag-a-act muna na a sub 1 dito is yung second term. So, that is negative 405. Now, dun sa n naman, ang mangyayari dito, hindi siya n minus 1. Magiging 6 minus 2. So, 6 minus 2. And then next, negative 5 is equal to negative 405 r raised to 6 minus 2, that is 4. Okay. So, kaya po minus 2 kasi po, second term po yung given. Hinahanap natin dito talaga mamaya is yung first term. And now, we divide the whole equation by negative 405. Okay. So, hindi po natin i-divide yung equation by negative 5 kasi kailangan natin tanggalin yung negative 405 na numerical coefficient ng r to the 4th power. Now, so kapag dinivide natin yan, magiging r to the 4th power is equal to, so negative 5 over negative 405, magiging positive yan. So, 5 over 405. And then, pwede nating i-lowest term yan. That is 1 over 81. So, bakit naging 1 over 81? Kasi po yung greatest common factor ng 5 and 405 is 5. So, 5 divided by 5, that is 1. 405 divided by 5, that is 81. Now, we rewrite. So, r raised to 4 is equal to 1 over 81. Then, we extract both sides. So, kukunin natin ngayon yung 4th root ng 1 over 81. So, r is equal to, ano yung 4th root ng 1? That is 1. What about 81? That is 3. So, to check, 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, ang makukuha po nating sagot dyan is 1 over 81. As you can see, yung ating common ratio na na-obtain ay fraction. So, to check, so, yung ano po natin, common ratio po natin is 1/3. And then yung second term natin dito is negative 405. Okay. So, para po makuha yung first term, ang gagawin lang natin, imbis na magdi-divide tayo ng 1/3 para makuha yung first term, magmumultiply tayo ng 3. Okay. So, negative 405 times 3 is negative 1,215. Okay, kasi kapag dinivide natin yung second term na negative 405 sa negative 1,215, ang makukuha ratio is 1/3. Now, After ng negative 405, mag-multiply ka ng 1/3. Ang makukuhang sagot dito ay negative 135. Another 1/3. Ang makukuhang sagot dito is negative 45. Another 1/3, negative 15. And then last one times 1/3 ulit, negative 5, which is our sixth term. Okay. So to answer the question, a sub 1 is equal to negative 1,215. So you can see yung mga terms ng ating given sequence ay puro mga negative. And the last one, what if n is unknown? Which term of the geometric sequence is 768 if the first term is 3 and the common ratio is 4? So let's have the given. So what is a sub n? So that is 768. So given yung n term natin which is 768. So ang hinahanap natin dito, anong term siya nung ating given sequence? And then, for the first term naman, that is 3. And then, the common ratio is 4. So, yung n natin dito is yung unknown. So, applying the formula, what is a sub n? That is 768 equals the first term, 3. And then, our common ratio is 4 raised to n minus 1. Okay. So, and then, we divide the whole equation by 3. So, 768 over 3, that is 256, is equal to 4 raised to n minus 1. Next, na gagawin natin dito is i-express natin yung 256 wherein dapat yung base niya kamukha dun sa right side para maibaba natin yung mga exponent kasi dapat same base sila. Okay, so ang 256 pwede natin siyang express as 4 raised to 4 is equal to 4 raised to n minus 1. As you can see, pareho natin nakita yung 4. So ang mangyayari po dito, pwede po nating ibaba yung mga exponent and magiging linear equation po siya niyan. So magiging 4 is equal to n minus 1. So, magagawa lang po natin yan kapag same base. Okay. So, pwede nating i-rewrite as n minus 1 is equal to 4. And then, we add 1 to both sides para matanggal tong negative 1. So, n is equal to 4 plus 1. So, n is equal to 5. So, yung 768, pang fifth term daw siya ng ating given sequence. To check, so yung first term natin is 3. And then we multiply 4, that is 12. Another 4, 48 times 4, 192. And another 4, that is 768. As you can see, 768, that is correct na pang fifth term nga siya ng ating given sequence. So, ganun lang po yung process kapag n is unknown. Natandaan po, kailangan same base po dapat yung ating makuha, both sides, para maibaba natin yung mga exponent. Okay? So, for our last problem, the first two terms of a geometric sequence are 2,187 and negative 729 respectively. Which term of the sequence is negative 1? So again, hindi po naka-indicate agad dito yung common ratio ng ating given sequence. So, given po yung mga first two terms. So, from these terms, makukuha natin yung common ratio. So, ayan. What is a sub n? So, that is negative 1. Diba? Negative 1. Okay. So, kasi hinahanap natin kung pang ilang term siya nung geometric sequence. And then, a sub 1, the first term, that is 2,187. Now, n is what? Unknown. And then, r, so para makuha natin yung r, yung negative 729, i-over natin sa 2,187. So, yung common factor nito, yung greatest common factor nilang dalawa ay 729. So, our common ratio is negative 1/3. Now, applying the formula, a sub n, sulat lang natin negative 1/3. So, ganyan po ang pagsagot nyo sa module. So, kailangan i-identify muna yung mga given. Kasi mas mabilis naman na makukuha yung sagot kasi magsasubstitute ka na lang sa formula. Okay. So, ganyan lang din kasi ang tinuturo ko sa mga estudyante. So, to identify the given. So, a sub n, that is negative 1, is equal to a sub 1, that is 2,187. And then, our common ratio, that is negative 1/3 raised to n minus 1. Okay, now, we divide the whole equation by 2,187. And then, negative 1 over 2,187 is equal to negative 1/3 raised to n minus 1. Now, kailangan natin ma-express ang negative 1 over 2,187 sa base na negative 1/3. So, that is, so, i-rewrite lang natin dito. So, kung iisipin natin yon, ang sagot, negative 1 over 7 at negative 1/3 raised to 7 is equal to negative 1/3 raised to n minus 1. Okay. So, kapag kasi ang 3 ni-raise natin sa 7, makukuha natin yung 2,187. So, same base na sila. Pwede nating ibaba. So, pagpalitin natin, magiging n minus 1 is equal to 7. 7 is equal to n minus 1, tsaka n minus 1 equals 7. Pareho lang po yun. So, and then we add 1 to both sides. So, 7 plus 1, that is n equals 8. And then to check, kung 8 term nga siya, so yung first term natin, 2,187 times negative 1/3, negative 729, times 1/3, negative 1/3, that is 243. As you can see, alternate po yung mga signs. So, and then, times negative 1/3, negative 81, another 1/3, that is 27. Another 1/3, that is negative 9. And another negative 1/3, that is positive 3. And then, yung pinakahuli is negative 1. Kapag binilang po natin yung mga terms niyan, makikita na yung negative 1 pang 8 term po siya ng ating given sequence. So, I hope nasundan nyo yung ating solusyon. So, after natin i-discuss yung nth term ng geometric sequence, inanap natin yung nth term, yung first term, yung term position, and then yung common ratio. For our next lesson, so we will be determining geometric means. So, kung meron tayong arithmetic means, we also have geometric means. So, I hope naging clear po yung ating discussion. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.